In this video, we are going to count down the 10 poorest states in America as of 2024, according to the latest data from the US Census Bureau published in 2022. Now, the federal poverty line for an individual is an annual income of $14,880 or less. So if you make equal or less than that, then you will be considered poor in America. But of course, poverty depends on many other factors like cost of living, healthcare costs, taxes, and more. Today, we'll look at which states have the highest percentages of populations living below the poverty line, dig into some statistics and reasons behind the poverty rates in these states. This will be an eye-opening dive into how poverty continues to impact millions of Americans in 2024. Number 10. Coming in at number 10 is South Carolina with a poverty rate of 14%. This is a slight decrease from 14.6% in the previous year. In total, over 719,000 South Carolinians live below the poverty line as of 2022 reports. Greenville County, the largest in the state, has over 54,000 citizens in poverty, which is 10.1% of its population. Marion County has the highest poverty rate at 31.6% of its population. Studies after studies have found that poverty in South Carolina is linked to its history of slavery, racism, and lack of educational access and opportunity over generations. Systemic discrimination also continues to contribute to cycles of poverty. Number 9. New York. This sure will be a shocker for many. The Empire State takes the 9th spot with a poverty rate of 14.2%. This equates to over 2.7 million New Yorkers living in poverty in 2024. Kings County, which contains Brooklyn, has the highest number of over 500,000 people in poverty. Bronx County is close behind with 370,000 impoverished, or 27.6% of its population. While New York has immense wealth, research shows nearly half of working-age New Yorkers experience underemployment, and too many New Yorkers lack the assets to cover even a modest emergency expense. The cost of living in New York City continues to rise faster than wages, forcing many into poverty. Number 8. Oklahoma has a poverty rate of 15.6%, or about 608,000 citizens below the poverty line. Oklahoma County, containing the capital Oklahoma City, has the most people in poverty at over 125,000. Tulsa County also has over 100,000 struggling residents. A report published by the Oklahoma Policy Institute points to Oklahoma's high uninsured rate, low educational attainment, and dependence on low-wage jobs as reasons for systemic poverty. It also has the highest incarceration rate, which perpetuates cycles of poverty. Number 7. Alabama. The Yellowhammer State comes in at number 7 with a 16.2% poverty rate. This is almost 800,000 Alabamians living in hardship. Jefferson County has the most impoverished with over 106,000 citizens below the poverty line. 4 of the counties in the state have a poverty rate of more than 30%. Experts say Alabama's history of slavery, racial segregation, and discrimination contribute heavily to poverty disparities today. Lack of educational access and opportunity lock many into generational poverty. The state's economic development strategy throughout the 19th and most of the 20th centuries is another source that attracted low-skill, low-wage industries. Number 6. Arkansas. Arkansas has the 6th highest poverty rate in the nation at 16.3%. This is close to 500,000 Arkansans living in poverty. Pulaski and Washington counties have the highest numbers of struggling residents in the state. Arkansas faces many challenges that impact the financial well-being of its residents. For starters, the state has a below-average school system, residents who suffer from poor health, and sales taxes that take a significant bite out of an already small budget. Lack of infrastructure and investment is a also major contributor to this vicious cycle. Number 5. Kentucky. With a poverty rate of 16.3%, Kentucky has over 706,000 residents living in poverty. Jefferson County, home to the city of Louisville, has the highest number of impoverished at over 115,000. Kentucky has more than 10 counties with a poverty rate higher than 30%. Studies have found some major causes for Kentucky's widespread poverty. Kentucky historically relied on declining industries like coal mining that is known for lack of job growth and diversification. Not to mention, coal jobs have fallen by over 50% in the last decade. Kentucky perennially ranks near the bottom in high school and college completion rates, which means a lack of opportunities. Available jobs in the Kentucky tend to be low wage with minimal benefits, but the cost of living is high compared to average wages in the state. This pushes people to poverty. Minimal public transportation infrastructure in large parts of the state makes accessing jobs difficult for the poor. Number 4. New Mexico. New Mexico has the fourth highest poverty rate nationwide at 17.3%, as per US Census data published in 2022. This amounts to over 350,000 New Mexicans living in hardship. The state has a high extreme poverty rate of 11%, meaning those living on less than $2 per day. I know that sounds crazy. New Mexico was ranked as the worst in the nation for child poverty in 2017. Some of the top reasons for poverty in New Mexico include low high school graduation rates of just 73.9%, which is among the lowest in the country. Moreover, 48% of college graduates are in debt. A high percentage of people have low-wage jobs at nearly 30% of all employment, which fails to meet the cost of living. Number 3. West Virginia. With a poverty rate of 17.4%, West Virginia as the third poorest state in the U.S. The state has almost 300 residents struggling to get by. Many factors can be blamed for West Virginia's high poverty levels. The state have failed to fill the gap in job market with new industries which were once provided by mining industry. West Virginia perennially has the lowest high school and college attainment rates in the country, meaning less opportunities. The state was ranked as the least educated in the country in 2022. The lack of an educated workforce continues to be one of the key factors holding West Virginia's economy back. The mountainous geography of West Virginia makes transportation and infrastructure expensive, isolates many communities, and hinders growth. Number 2. Louisiana. Louisiana is the second poorest state in 2024 with an 18.6% poverty rate. This is over 800,000 Louisiana residents living in poverty. That's huge, right? Historical lack of emphasis on quality education has led to poor education outcomes that limit opportunities. Louisiana usually ranks low in national education rankings. Health problems like obesity and heart disease affect many low-income citizens who lack access to health care and nutritious foods. This reduces the ability to work and increases costs. Wage inequality is rampant, with most growth happening in high-paying jobs while middle and low wages remain depressed. The effects of natural disasters like Hurricane Katrina have decimated communities and economies. Recovery efforts have stalled. Public corruption and mismanagement of resources hamper poverty reduction efforts in Louisiana. Number 1. Mississippi. Not a surprise to many, Mississippi has the highest U.S. poverty rate. As per the US Census data published in 2022, the state has 19.2% of its people in poverty. This translates to almost 550,000 Mississippians living in poverty. The state has more than 15 counties with a poverty rate higher than 30%. There are multiple key drivers of Mississippi's high poverty rates. Racism and discrimination continue to marginalize opportunities for minorities, especially in the Delta region. Mississippi has the highest African American population percentage. Poor education has led to low literacy, low college attainment, and a workforce lacking in skills. Good jobs requiring advanced skills go unfilled. Lack of investment in infrastructure like broadband internet, public transit, and amenities creates isolated, poor communities with minimal access to opportunities. High rates of brain drain, as those with means tend to leave Mississippi for better opportunities elsewhere, perpetuating cycles of poverty. And that wraps up our countdown of the poorest states in America for 2024. I hope you found this video informative and eye-opening in really understanding the complex factors behind poverty in the richest country in the world. Reducing poverty will require sizable investments in education, healthcare access, living wages, and infrastructure. But this video helps give us a better understanding of poverty. It's not just about income, but also the opportunity, equity, and support systems. Now, I want to hear your thoughts. Did any of these that made it into the list surprise you? Or are you living in one of these states and have personal experiences to share? Leave a comment below and let's have a conversation. I read every comment and try my best to respond to have a real discussion with all of you, so don't be shy. In the meantime, check out this next video now.